Chinny from Mini Bull Design. Today I'm out in the front yard. It's about 8 or 10 below zero and windy. You know, I don't think a guy would last very long out here without some source of heat to warm him up. That's pretty brutal. Now I had somebody on one of the comments ask me about a heater, an emergency heater. If you get caught out in your automobile died, you're out of gas, and it was really cold and there wasn't any way to get to a warm place. Something to keep you from going into hypothermia or getting frostbite. So I've been on the internet doing some research on it, and it appears right now that the least toxic, and that would be the biggest problem, is the toxicity building up inside of the car if you were burning anything. And it seems that the least toxic thing I could find so far, ironically, is rubbing alcohol. So I didn't really believe that. So I come out and I did some experimenting with methanol and ethanol and isopropyl, and yeah, there's 70% rubbing alcohol when burned with a wick. Appears to be pretty non-toxic. Doesn't seem to bother too bad at all. So what I did was I built a stove that was completely and totally safe. The alcohol is suspended in carbon felt. Then there's carbon felt. It doesn't get that hot anyway. There's carbon felt underneath it. It doesn't get that hot anyway. And there's also, if you ran it over and soaked the carbon felt, there's an inch and a half in the bottom of the pan to catch any alcohol. So the chances of having any problem with that are slim and none. It's pretty benign. And it throws off a moderate heat. And you can put a 12 centimeter pot on it and melt snow and heat water for hot drinks, which would be a huge lifesaver in sub-zero weather, keeping your core temperature up by with hot drinks, and keeping yourself hydrated would be huge. If you had this and a good sleeping bag or a bunch of blankets, I think it could survive some pretty cold weather for quite a long time. So that's what I'm working on. Let me bring the camera over and let you look at it. It throws off a surprising amount of heat, but it's not crazy, and it's going to burn the roof liner out of the car or anything. I also made a special nipple cap that will screw right onto just about any of the rubbing alcohol bottles with a large fuel line, so you can remote charge it. And if you fill this up, it'll burn for like 20 minutes on fill. And then if you want to fill it again, just flip the bottle up and squeeze it and refill it. Remote feed. And I think probably when you fill this up, it's probably 1.5 ounces. This is a 16-ounce bottle, and if you get 20 minutes to 1.5 ounces, that'd go a long time. And especially if you weren't burning it all the time. You definitely want to keep a window cracked now and then to change out the air. But I think that's a pretty good setup. Now, if you want to make any comments on this and let me know where I've gone awry, or if you're interested, if there is any interest, let me know. Now, this cap, hose, and burner will all go inside the 12 centimeter pot. I've removed the handle from this, so the whole thing would look like that when you got done. Put a bungee strap around it or something, and have a few bottles of rubbing alcohol, which is no big danger, stored inside the car in the trunk or anything. No different than if you bought it at the store and brought it home in a shopping bag. So that's where I am on that. Now I want to go out and talk about the trike and explain to you what I'm up to there. Now, some of the comments I got after my last video explaining about doing an instructional video was, well, there's a lot of free information on the internet, so you don't have to pay for it. That's not the kind of information I wanted to put in the video. The information I want to put in the video is extremely specific just to this bike. And the only thing the video would be any good for is if you were going to build this exact bike, number 7. For example, how long is it from the tip of this boom to the joint right here? What angle is that joint? What angle are these two joints? What's the length from here to here? What's the length from here to the top? If you're taller, should this be longer or shorter? Where do I mount the seat? How far from the front of the seat to the front axle? If I lay this down flat, how far is it from here down to the ground on both sides? And how do I harvest these neck pieces? And where should I weld them in? And how much ground clearance do I need? And what about the rear fork? What length fork do I need? And what are these pieces back here? And how do I mount these? I can go on here for a couple hours. I can give you all the information in just a couple of short videos. Give you all these dimensions, do a little bit of demo work on like bending the seat and stuff. And when I get all done, you can use it as a reference video to build just this bike. And believe me, there's things in here you'd never even guess on. For example, the tubes that these tubes that go inside, there's a trick to these, and if you don't know the trick, the wheel will fall right off. Oh yeah, just one of them little things that you learn by mistakes. So that's what I'm talking about for an instructional video. Now I think, I don't know this, but I think that maybe at most 10 people who watch my videos are actually want to build this bike or are building a bike. What I really like is if you're interested in building this bike, or if you are building a trike, if you leave a comment, just leave the word yes in the comment, just anything, just so I can get a head count on how many people I'm actually talking to that are interested in the trike end of these videos. So, I'm cold. I'm going in the house. I'm Tinny from Mini Bull Design. Get out and hike, take a friend, enjoy the great outdoors, and more important than anything, try to have some fun today, and try to have a really great day. Don't forget to leave the comment. Cold out here.